Gotcha! Goodbye to you, Ashera. Ah, there's Yune.
What of you? Are you leaving?
I am. But I believe it's for the best. This world does not need gods. We have always failed you. We've made you weak. That's why we must go.
You don't have to leave.
Huh?
It's true. We don't have much use for gods. But well, you show us what we should aspire to. We need inspiration. You give us a reason to grow, to become more than we are. And if we don't have that, Yune, we're nothing more than statues.
Can you forgive me for the pain I've caused?
I don't know. But you have already forgiven us. How could we not? We are all family. We will try to understand one another, even when we disagree.
You're right. I will try one more time.
And she's gone. Hey, alright. She's turning everyone back to normal. Great. Ah, come on, you just woke up. Don't start fighting again. Ah. Good job. At least they realize now's not the time to fight. So it looks like everyone around the world is slowly turning back to normal. Good. Good job, Yune. Alright, let's go ahead and save over here. Looks like it's time to say our goodbyes. Priestess of Dawn Micaiah, crowned 15th Queen of Daen at prior King Pelias's entreaty, Micaiah ushered in a new era of prosperity. Zephyr Sove. Becoming Queen Micaiah's husband and her pillar of strength, Sove worked tirelessly to assist the poor. Blade of Justice Edward. Edward lived as a common townsman, despite the Queen's wishes. He would often visit the keep to bring good news. Freedom's Arrow Leonardo. Leonardo toiled at rebuilding the army. With his proven skills and good looks, he was beset by women across Tellius. Nolan wandered the kingdoms, saving those in adversity. Stories of his altruism eventually became legends. Laura returned to her home's church and became a mother to many orphans, all of whom loved her gentleness. Ileana returned to travel with the merchant's caravan as she had before. Somewhere, right now, she is hungry, and I don't doubt that. Aaron served for many years as lookout in his hometown. Everyone relied on him for his honest, if clumsy, work. Tyronio worked tirelessly for his country as linchpin of Daen's military, and a pillar of statesmanship. Zehark traveled Tellius as a mercenary, resolving Bjorklagu's disputes. Some say he eventually settled in Gallia. Queen Micaiah ceded Talrega to Jill. Bearing her father's ideals, she made her land and people prosper. Though unparalleled in strength as a Draco Knight, Har never fought again. Rather, he carried cargo in Talrega. As Lady of Murado, Fiona watched over her beloved people and protected them until the autumn of her years. Oh, here comes Pelias. Unfortunately, Lady Almeda, Peleus is not your son. Soren is. After revealing his lack of royal blood, Peleus gave up the throne, but served at court, learning to speak easily to all. Returning to Hatari with recent events graven in her heart, Nyla hoped to migrate her people across the desert. Strangely, Volug was still in wolf form on the day he went home. Asked why, he said only, "It's more comfortable." And Raphael was severely wounded in Part 4 and gave rebirth. Yeah, but he's fine. Ain't that the truth, Ike? Upon returning to Gallia, King Canegus lost no time in abdicating his throne. Countless songs still tell of his valor. Since their youth, Gifka had been ever at Canegus' side as his loyal shadow. He died proud of how he spent his life. Skrimir, as the new Lion King, patrolled Gallia's borders vigorously, and his large heart won the love of his people. Ranulf was often run ragged by advising the new king. While he winced at his duties, Ranulf still indulged Skrimir. Lef later became a captain in Gallia's home guard, and pounded battle skills and fighting pride into young warriors. After returning to the forest, Mordecai avoided battle and lived all his days in peaceful harmony with the trees. Well, good for you, Mordecai. Lyre lived free and wild in the forest. She often told her young comrades of the war and the heroes therein. Kiza remained a dutiful Gallian warrior. He showed exemplary diligence, never neglecting to train, even in peacetime. Sister? Ah, so her and Sanaki are sisters. I thought her older sister had been killed, but here she is. They do seem to have the same eye color as well, I've just noticed. Aw, well that's good that she found her older sister. I thought for sure she was dead. Sanaki elected to guide her people in a world without the goddess, and made treaties uniting the continent. Sigrun was loved by her subordinates in the Holy Guard for her kindness, and guarded Sanaki all her life. Tanith was feared by her subordinates in the Holy Guard for her strictness, and guarded Sanaki all her life as well. As Benion's Lagu's advisor, Tormod labored to help former slaves out of poverty. He was busy, but very happy. As Benion's first ever Lagu's official, Murarim assisted Tormod and supported his efforts in every arena. Vika became a liaison to former slaves, traveling between the Cathedral and Lagu's district, and was loved in both. God. Oliver followed his calling as a guardian of beauty by sponsoring many artists, especially those who depicted him. Stefan gathered like-minded individuals to form a tiny independent settlement, which later became a great country. Oh, you all settled down together, eh? Well, hopefully that works out for you. You're probably right there, Ike. Have you ever heard of a vegetarian hawk, or a raptor that doesn't scream victoriously at the skies after a kill? Tabarn was chosen as the first king of the unified bird clans, and brought them great respect from the other nations. Saved from the Blood Pact, Nisala left his people and their nation. He became a diplomat, finding atonement in work. Rayson worked hard as a leader in the new Lagu's nation. His iron resolve under a pretty face was suited for politics. As the new king's right arm, Janaf so eagerly trained his men that he often skipped meals, weekends, and sleep. Oh, Janaf. Despite being the new king's left arm, Yulki still loved solitude, spending his free time in long deserted locales. Leanne and her father made the forest echo with songs to stir pride in all those toiling to build the new kingdom. Despite his age, Nialuchi worked hard to restore the name of the Raven clan. Every year he set a new age record. After finishing his contract, Volk went back to the shadows he knew so well. He was a man of mystery to the end. Kurfnaga spent his days arbitrating conflicts between nations, guarding the peace so many had died for. Enna returned home and gave birth to her lost fiancé's child. Goldoa rejoiced at the first dragon birth in centuries. Yikes, she must have been pregnant a while then. Nasir served the new Dragon King by observing other nations in his travels, and often doted on his great-grandchild. I'm sure he did. Gareth was named Chamberlain to the king's new nephew, and taught him with both strictness and love. To Crimea, our homeland. It's been too long. Valentia governed Crimea with resolve and a deep love for her people. Her reign was remembered as a golden age. All Crimea rejoiced at Renning's return. He chose to forego the limelight, helping the queen to keep the peace. As captain of the Royal Knights and a model of chivalry, Geoffrey served his queen and country all his days. Where the queen went, Lucia followed. Their love was fabled to be stronger than even most blood sisters. Bastion's unparalleled diplomatic skills ensured that many treaties were signed, spreading peace across Tellius. Kieran served the royal family with nearly fanatical verve. His voice could be heard from anywhere in the castle. I don't doubt that. Marcia showed her dedication as one of the royal knights, ever vigilant as she patrolled Crimea's skies. Makalov remained as a royal knight because the Empire was too strict. Miraculously, he was never fired. That's a miracle. As a royal knight renowned throughout the land, Astrid's beauty and prowess were known to allies and enemies alike. Nephany lived with her family in Melior. Time and again she raised her lance in defense of the realm. Returning to his family in Oma, Braum farmed for the rest of his peaceful life. He never lifted a weapon again. Meg had an ordinary marriage in her village and an ordinary family. Her house was always full of laughter. Well, at least she didn't end up marrying the Seahark. Heather returned home to care for her mother, swearing off her roguish ways. Yet somehow, she always had money. War over, Danvid hung up his lance and became a traveling performer, as that could make anyone laugh. Khalil returned to running the store with her beloved Largo and daughter Amy. Her bright smile cheered many hearts. We're getting close to the end now, I think. Titania remained second in command of the mercenaries. Once a year, she visited the graves of her fallen friends. Shinon laces the days away in his old haunts. An expert at all he put his hand to, he chose none as his calling. So a jack of all trades, essentially. Gatry became a famous mercenary and a household name. Fate led him to find many women, but never true love. That sucks. Oscar returned to the Royal Knights at Queen Elincia's request, but still took mercenary work on the side. Boyd trained day in and day out, so as not to lose his spot to some stupid rookie. He never did either. Rolf remained with the mercenaries. He was always in demand as a tutor of unrivaled marksmanship. Riss served as healer and opened a small chapel in a corner of their old keep. He taught school there. Mia set off in search of new opponents. She traveled the whole continent, but sometimes rested at Grail's retreat. Mist was courted by many young suitors in her time. She gave the nod to none of them, and lived happily alone. I think Boyd actually has a thing for her in Path of Radiance, if I recall. When peace had settled on the land, Soren packed lightly and set off with the only person he had ever trusted. Ike. Once he saw stability returned, Ike left on a journey to lands still unknown. He was never seen again. At Laurazia's urging, Sephiran laid himself down within Serenus, and was healed by the songs of the herons. Ah, so he's got his Laguz powers back, at last. Ah, so the goddess has finally become whole again. She is now Ashunara, both Ashera and Yune combined. $1,200 years. Wow. Well, it's good to see that Laurent has finally gotten back to his former self. And he's rejoined with the goddess as well. Whew! And with that, guys, that is finally the end of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Honestly, it's a pretty damn good sequel. Definitely a lot longer than Path of Radiance, at least double. It's like double the amount of time it takes to complete Wrath of Radiance. But overall, it's a solid sequel. There are some aspects I like more about Path of Radiance, but can't really complain about this game much. It is difficult, though, but that's what the battle saves are for. Anyway, I think I've prattled on enough now, so I'm gonna mute my mic for the credits, and I'll see you once the unit records start rolling. So see you in a few minutes, guys. In days long past, a young man strode the lands of Teleus. He was simple yet true, his deeds brave and noble. He reunited two races long at war, and healed the heart of a goddess long gone mad. Ask any you meet, be they young or old, Bjork or Laguz, of a hero named Ike, and you'll receive a warm smile and a tale or two of faith, courage, and honesty. Goodbye, Ike. The end. Okay, so time for the records and the unit records. Alright, and here come the unit records. Well, at least Raphael was the only one that ended up wounded. There's Peleus, he ended up winning 48 battles. There's Micaiah with 76. Oscar with 84, Shinon with 87. Holy cow, Ike only got 88 kills. What are the top 5 this time then? Number 5, Boyd. He got 92 victories. 4th, Soren with 92 victories as well. Edward with 92 victories as well. That's amazing. Second is Mia with 111 victories. And first place goes to Sir Har with 111 victories. Ah, our favorite narcoleptic. I guess I can save here for the time being. And with that, folks, that finally brings Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn to a close. Let's just take a look at the extras real quick. That's where you can listen to all of the music in the game. That's where you can watch all the movies. These are the base conversations if you want to see them again. And whatever supports you got in Path of Radiance, you can view them here. Of course, you can only view the ones you've actually seen, but you know. Then I'll show these real quick, because these are the character portraits, which I think are kind of cool. I'll just scroll through them fairly quickly. Alright, and I think Yune's the... Oh, nope, she's not quite lost. Oh, and we even get to see Elena. Oh, that's nice. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all I have to show for Radiant Dawn. So, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Now, I will probably be doing Fire Emblem 7, because that's the next Fire Emblem game I did after Radiant Dawn. But it's probably gonna be quite a while before I get to it, but eventually I'll get to 7 at some point. But for now, guys, blah. For now, guys, that's gonna be it for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed Radiant Dawn, and I'll see you next Let's Play. Ominous out.